Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Bubba Dub, man. Today, you know what I'm saying? I got a special guest in the building. I'm talking about one of them ones that I've been telling y'all about that I was gonna pull up on, man. No other than the head coach, Eddie George of the Tennessee State Football University. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good. I'm glad we made this happen, dog. You was hitting me up on the
For
DMs like,
sure.
yo, I gotta come down there and check you out. I'm like, Bubba Dub want to come? We gotta make this happen. So I'm glad you came down, especially for our homecoming, man, because the
Yes,
energy is right.
it
And it
is.
is people everywhere. We got alumni in town, former players in town. Big game for us. You know, we kind of got some momentum rocking.
You do?
So you caught it at the right time. Weather is amazing.
It is.
Yo, you married?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I was gonna say, so some some sites that you might want to enjoy.
for
Not that you
sure.
can't enjoy it,
Yeah.
you just can't indulge. So
Oh,
it's,
for sure.
but outside of that, man, I'm blessed to have you here, man. Really, honestly.
Oh man, we appreciate it. Before we even get into this crazy week that you got, man,
Uh-huh.
let's talk about the journey of Eddie George, man. Like,
Mm.
when it all started for you?
Woo, man. Well, I'm from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. Grew up in Abington, between Abington and Southwest Philadelphia, Mount Airy. And long story short, man, I was a knucklehead. I was probably the biggest bullshitter out there. You know, I had big dreams, wanted to play big time college football, but didn't have the work ethic. I was hanging around the wrong crowd. I was becoming a product of my environment. I was going nowhere fast. My junior year in high school, going into my junior year, my mother pulled me out of Philadelphia and put me in a military academy.
Military.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, Fort Union Military Academy.
Mm.
Hey, it's Charlottesville. You familiar with Virginia?
Yeah.
Charlottesville, Richmond, Fort Union, smack dab in the middle. No putting out in the middle of nowhere. But even when I got there, man, it was tough. It was a rough environment as far as the discipline part of it. We had a uniform for everything. We had our time was structured. We had to have quiet time and study time for 2 hours a night, including Saturday
Ooh.
classes. And it was tour time. You know, we had to do a lot. It was a lot of demands on us, but it forced me to think responsibly and to value my time, but more importantly, my educations. I was seeing guys that were great football players, but also great students,
Mm.
great leaders. They were like in the chess club and the debate club and in the music and but also getting recruited by UCLA, Ohio State, Virginia, North Carolina. I'm like, whoa, this is what it takes. So I really buckled down and committed to becoming a better student. And as a byproduct of that, I became a better player and I had more opportunities for myself. And that's how I got to Ohio State.
How did you know you were special though? Like, what made you know? Like, you know what, man? I can go all the way.
You know what? I'll tell you, man, I always felt that as a child. I always loved the game of football. You can pull up any baby picture of me, you'll see me with a football in my hand. I could be at a family reunion, at a church function. It did not matter. I could have been anywhere. I always had a ball with me, and I just loved the game that much. And I remember my mother was when I came home from school, my mom was crying because my grades were so bad. She was looking at my report card and she was crying because she was like, I'm frustrated. I don't know what I can do, what else I can do with this kid. And I'm just working my ass off, 6 different jobs, but he's failing. And I think I'm losing him. And I saw her crying, man. I left and went out to the park across the street, climbed up on this batting cage, man. I looked up in the sky and I said, God, man, I'm gonna make it. I don't know how I'm gonna make it, but I know I'm going to make it. I know I can play ball at the highest level. I know I can achieve these great things. I know I can go and play at Penn State because that's where I really wanted to
Penn
go
State,
growing
okay.
up. And I can win the Heisman Trophy, and I can go on to. I could see it, so it was always there. So I just had to trust God's plan to get there. So it wasn't anything where I kind of knew like, oh, I can be special. I kind of felt that all along, but I had to go through a very hard process and a lot of rude awakenings, a lot of humbling experiences in order for me to achieve that. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it all started. I wasn't highly recruited. Coming out of high school, I wasn't the 5-star. I wasn't that dude getting in looking for NIL opportunities back then. I said, look, just let me compete. Let me give me any number.
You
I'm gonna
gonna make
turn
it.
that. Hey, anybody. And this is at a time at Ohio State when they had the best backfield in the country. I played in the running back room. We had 5 guys that played in the NFL that got drafted.
Whoa.
So it was deep. You can't get hurt. Don't get hurt.
Yeah.
Don't fumble. Don't make a
Like
mistake.
it could be your last.
It could be your last. And we had a class of freshmen that came in with me that were nationally ranked guys. So it was competition. That's all I wanted. Put the ball in the dirt. Let's go. And my freshman year, I know I'm skipping around. Feel free.
No, you good. No, you good. That's what
my freshman year. I wanted to come in and I wanted to compete. And I found my way. My role was goal line running back. First couple weeks, man, I was rocking. Had a touchdown against Bowling Green, first game of the year, or Louisville, first game of the year. Another game, touchdown against Bowling Green. Played Syracuse on a Saturday night game of the week back then on ESPN live national game. 3 touchdowns. Yes, I was touchdown Eddie. And then 2 weeks later, played against Illinois, fumbled twice at the goal line, in the shoe. So $100,000 was booing against me. They called me everything but not at Ohio State.
No, you can't get. You got
so
to
I
hold
was
on
in the
to it.
doghouse for 2 years, man. After that, so that was the time that I really had to dig a little bit deeper.
Then them setbacks for the comeback.
No question, without a doubt. Because I mean, it could have been. I could have jumped in the portal. I could have ran away from it, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna turn and face this and be a man about it and see it through.
And then you go on to do great things, win Heisman. Win Heisman, then you go on and get drafted by the Houston Oilers.
Yes, sir.
What was that like getting drafted, going down there to H-Town? Like,
well, I'll say this: the organization I knew about Houston's. I followed the NFL. I was a big Earl Campbell fan. Warren Moon, the House of Pain days. I remember that defense with Buddy Ryan and them boys. So I was a big fan of NFL football. So going to Houston was great. But at that time, there was a lot of uncertainty in the air whether the Houston Oilers were going to move or not. It was just, I just didn't know. So when I got to Houston, never been to Houston before. I got to Houston, I was like, man, what is this going to be like?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. Thoroughbreds. Yeah, I know.
The weather.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I was like, I called my boy at Ohio State. I said, man, you're not going to believe this, man. And I tell you what, State, they got, you know what I'm saying? They got it. But
H-Town different, man. Texas different.
It's a reason why athletes retire there. You never played there. Never had no ties to Houston at all.
But they
it's the boudin, man.
Oh, for
the
sure.
Boudin, the crawfish, the papados.
Those, yes. Oh, you know all about that. You
right?
already know.
Yes.
Yeah, cornbread fed, for
so
sure.
Shout out to the H, man. Love H-Town. Love H-Town.
When you said you got there, Warren Moon was there. When he about 48?
No.
He wasn't there yet?
40, no, Warren wasn't there. Warren was in Seattle.
Seattle at the time.
Yeah, he went from Minnesota to Seattle, but he still had ties in Houston. He was still the mayor of Houston. When I got drafted, he was one of the first guys that called me and says, "Yo, Eddie, whatever you need in H-Town, that's my city. I got you." And I was like, okay. And then, it was a.
But you wasn't that long. It was like, what was it? Just that year?
That year. So I really didn't immerse myself like that. But it was fun. It was fun, and the fans that did come out and support us that year, because it wasn't a lot. They showed love for us, man. They still have the love you blue ties to it.
What's some of the things that my audience of people who never played in the professional NFL before, what it's like for rookies? Did you get any rookie hazings?
I wouldn't say hazing. I say it was a rite of passage. There's no such thing as hazing.
Okay,
you
okay,
know, and it's cool. It wasn't anything crazy. My first 100-yard game, I had to treat the
okay. Well,
veterans
that's
to a dinner.
normal. That's normal.
Yeah, until you get the bill. Yeah, like that part is real.
Yeah.
You come in, your first round pick, like, hey, let's go
But
on
that's
out.
the
Let's go to
but
let's go
that's
to
why they
dinner.
doing it to you, though, because you
Right,
got.
right. It's like, I'm thinking they're being nice and hey, come on out to dinner. We gonna go to Ruth Chris.
Ooh,
We're
ooh.
going to set it out beautifully. Come in and ha ha he he ho ho.
Yeah.
Drinking wine or with all this steaks, and they say, hey, you try this shrimp scampi and all this stuff. Say, okay, time to pay the bill here. Boom, like 40 grand. Like,
Never.
what?
Ooh, you better than me. Ain't no way I would have
I
done
was like,
that.
man, are you? But you know what?
Was it your offensive line?
It was O line. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you can't.
You motherfuckers better get out there.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
better have
yeah.
300-yard rushing tomorrow.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to get to. When you have those games, you start building with your teammate. Do you have a good relationship with your
You
offensive
do,
line?
because the thing is this, man. It was incentive. You get your incentive, so you know that if you get 1,000 yards that year, you get some cash for
Okay,
it. And
okay,
that's when I said, okay, I'm gonna give to my O line. So I would give them gifts.
okay.
After every 100-yard game, we'll take them out to dinner.
Oh,
After 1,000-yard season, or I was rookie of the year that year, you got to show love. You got to show gratitude. And I got them one year. I got them some guns. I got according to their personality. So I
okay.
got like Bruce Matthews a shotgun, Brad Hopkins a 9 millimeter. You know what
Ooh,
I'm saying? And just different types of guns that can appreciate. I don't know if you can do that now, but but
yeah, yeah. In
but
Texas, you can
yeah,
for
Texas.
sure.
So, but they were responsible, and got them 4-wheelers one year, with the jerseys and all of that, and it was just love, man.
What it's like coming from when you come from. You're doing great, and you go in there, you get that contract. You sign for some M's. Like, what is going through your mind at this time?
Man, it's life changing. Like, it is. You work so hard to get to a level just to have to get paid for something you love to
You
do,
do.
and you see the work, you see the hard work, and that's not the end all be all, but you're like, man, I can have the freedom to do certain things. I still gotta operate within a budget, not be irresponsible, but now I can see my dreams coming to fruition, you know. And the financial aspect was a part of it.
Is the people around you at this time, is they a little bit more nicer to you?
Nicer.
What I'm meaning is people that was never around now,
Oh,
they're
you go
starting to.
from you go from being funny looking to being fine as fuck.
That's my
That's
point.
yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to
You
say. Now you was ugly,
yeah.
now you handsome.
Now you handsome. Now you extremely handsome, and giving you free stuff. I mean, you get people around you, um, and access to certain places and things and people that normally you wouldn't have
Yeah,
access
access to
to.
yeah.
Now you got a seat at the table of information of what's really going on. You're sitting with prominent businessmen, prominent real estate developers. You're
Mm.
learning about all the politics, how things work, the inner workings of stuff, and who does what, and you're trying to figure out how do you fit into this world and what do they want from you. Because ultimately, they want something from you.
Playing in the NFL, knowing what you know now, do you think it's politics in the NFL?
Oh, without question. Oh, no question. Um, it is a network that you know. That's who you know is relationship based. I'm not going to go as far as to say it's all based off of race, but if all
Yeah,
you know is someone of your same skin tone, you're
for
going to
sure.
hire that
For sure,
person.
for sure.
So I think you're more inclined to try to um, hire the people you're comfortable with, because loyalty is everything in this
Do
business.
you respect the Rooney Rule, or you feel like it shouldn't even have to, it should never have
Uh,
ever been a Rooney Rule?
it shouldn't
Because
have
there's
to be
ways
one.
around it that they're doing.
Yes,
Like,
yes, you
okay,
can.
you got to interview
You
a
got an
black
interview, but you
candidate,
have
but
no intentions on
attention to
hiring
hiring.
me. You just check the box. I think it needs to be there definitely need to be more opportunities for African Americans across the board in every position. I think we're seeing it now. The Titans have done a good job of that.
Yeah.
From executive president to marketing to GM to assistant coaches, more head coaches. I mean, we have the majority of our rosters are 95% African American, but there's no real true representation of African American head coaches. Mike Tomlin is just one that had a
Yeah.
long tenure at Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
and has been very successful there. And you can still have other African American coaches, especially in college football.
Yeah, that's where I was hitting at college
Yes,
football.
I mean, I did a deal, a panel years ago, 20 years ago, talking about African American representation in college sports, and it was about 2%. And guess where
Mm.
we are, 20 years later, at 2%.
Same.
So nothing has changed since that point. So I think, for presidents, for firms that are search firms, they need to understand who's out there and who's qualified. So you feel comfortable to hire someone that's not the same skin
Skin
color.
color, yeah.
It's about who you are as a man, what you stand on, what your convictions are, what you believe in, what your program elements are, what your background is. It's about getting those opportunities, man. I mean, also all you're looking for is an opportunity to show what you can do, and that you don't have to necessarily win a championship. I feel like for us, we gotta go above and beyond.
Got to be two times better than
I got to win 5 national championships. I got to produce 8,000 All Americans and show this resume just to get uh,
looked at. Really,
looked at, or a running back position, not a head job. Where you see some guys going from the booth to a coaching position or a GM position without having to go through a so-called ladder or a certain process. So I think it's relationship based, and there's been the Bill Walsh program, which I was a part of, to get you in front of various people, staffs, and people in the business to show, hey, this is who I am. Here are my ambitions. Let's build a relationship and a rapport. And if there's an opportunity at some point in time to interview for a job or a head coaching position somewhere, let me put my best foot forward and see what we do. 'Cause I'm not a play caller, never have been, but what I am is a leader,
yeah.
and I
You
can
can't teach that.
nah,
You can't teach a leader,
not and
man.
not everybody that's a play caller can be a leader, and not every leader can be a play caller.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So that part, I've done all my life, and I've led my family, and I'm leading myself, and that's where you find out the real essence of a man is how he leads himself, and look at the fruit that he's
yeah.
produced in
Bruce,
terms
yeah.
of his children.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
that's a
That's
gem.
that's that's where who you're getting as a man. Who that person is. You can't hide that. What you pour into your children is more than likely who you are
Uh,
as a man.
all right, let's take a step back because we all know you was one of the iconic running back, but at your time in your position, running backs was valued.
Oh yeah.
They're not valued now. Why is that?
Um, I would say the value, how the game has changed. It's more geared toward the passing game and the quarterback. The financial dynamics have changed for the running back position. We've been looked at as um, short shelf lives in terms of production, and you figure you can get three for three running backs for that same price for like a Barry Sanders
Yeah,
or an Eddie George or Jerome Bettis or Marshall Falk, the bell cow running backs of the day. But one thing that we understand, in order to win a championship, you've got to be able to run the football. There is no question about that. That's tried and true.
yeah,
You know, what makes you special is if you have the quarterback that can make the plays. That makes you an over the top team. But the majority of the teams that I was on and I played against back then all had a running back that toted that thing 30 in, 30 out. At one point in time, just as the AFC Central,
yeah, yeah.
me, Jerome Bettis, Corey Dillon, Fred Taylor, Jamal Lewis.
Yeah, he killed us
Yeah.
for over 2,000 Jamal Lewis.
And you're
Yeah.
looking at
Priest
playing twice a
Holmes.
year. Priest Holmes. And Priest was there in Baltimore before he went to the Chiefs.
Mm.
Yes. So it was some dudes in that conference.
Besides Ray Lewis, who was your other battle? That when
Pittsburgh. It was Pittsburgh. I was at Pittsburgh, and then when we changed divisions, they restructured divisions to the AFC South. It was Indianapolis and Jacksonville, but without question, Pittsburgh. Houston and Pittsburgh back in the day, it was a hate. I mean, when I first got to Houston, it was Pittsburgh week. We hadn't beaten Pittsburgh in what, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years or something like that, and that was preached from the giddy up.
Any concussions in your career?
Oh yeah,
The
absolutely.
hardest hit? Who hit you the hardest? That you can
Casey
remember?
Hampton from Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Was
I
it a
took a
blind
pitch.
side or the
I took a pitch. I took a handoff. Actually, I can't remember the play because it was a concussion. It was the playoff game, and first play of the second half, I go off tackle, and Casey Hampton caught me square on the chin. Bum! I'm out as I'm going down. Boom.
damn?
Out. Cold. Clean. And all I kept hearing.
Was you out for the whole game or
I was out for the whole game. I wasn't
Okay.
coming back.
Okay.
That game is extremely too physical for me to be playing around with my brain. And all I kept hearing was the Pittsburgh Steelers players, "Oh, he's out. He's done. He's done. Get him out. Get the gator. Got him. Got him." It was no remorse. It was no, "Hey, is he okay?"
I'm not laughing at it, but
No,
it's
no,
like,
no. This is what's being said.
football
It's
talk.
not. It's not. Hey, oh my God, he's down. He's hurt. Got him.
Ooh.
Get him off. And I'm getting up. I'm hot. I'm like, oh God, I can't. And I'm woozy, man. I can't think. I'm like, I'm done.
Man, you brought back memory because, like I said,
Yeah.
I'm from East Texas, and
Yeah.
glad I'm sitting here with you because it was a guy who got drafted, and you were so damn great. He never started. Rodney Thomas,
Yes.
Groverton,
bless his soul.
Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm from East, like I'm saying, from East, we from that area.
Yeah. Went to Texas A&M.
Yes, sir.
Rock T. Yes.
Yes, sir. And
Yes. That's my man. I miss him.
yeah, man. Something like that, like you say. A reason I bring up the concussion because Tua, I call him Tuna Fish Tua down in Miami Dolphins right now. Everybody's saying he should retire, and T.O. said he gonna have to retire, but the game will retire him
Mm-hmm.
if he, you know what I'm saying, if he continue to take these concussions that he's taking.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Once you get one, the likelihood of you getting another is extremely high. And we've seen, 2 years ago, him take a hit and hit his head on the turf, and was out for a while. That was a devastating blow. Yet again, at some point, you play the game long enough, you're going to be exposed to another hit, and it could be devastating. Unfortunately, lost a friend of mine, Frank Wycheck. He had to give up his career because of a severe concussion. And I've seen this. There's no amount of padding or technology, helmet wise, that can prevent that. It is a violent game. So I would say that, his playing days might be done, might be behind him if he wants to play. There's no amount of time that you can let the brain rest and all of that. That if you get caught the right way, it's going to happen
And
again.
I understand that, and I'm all about safety, but he making $53 million this year.
Yeah.
And, sometimes players look at that because we're on the outside
No
looking in.
question.
We don't know, like you say, we'll get there in a minute. People finances and where they come from and
Yeah.
who all they got depending on them.
And it might be a situation where they have to negotiate and come to a settlement of what that looks like. It might not get all 53. It might be a little bit different. He might say, okay, how can I be a part of the game in a different capacity? Maybe it's coaching, maybe it's consultant, maybe it's I can serve differently. And I think the organization sees that, and he can be an ambassador for the Dolphins. But in terms of him playing at a high level and having the confidence to go out there and play, I think
It's always going to be there.
It's always going to be in the back of your mind, man. And again, that the league is a violent league, it's a violent game, and unfortunately he's probably gonna see another hit that could, give him another concussion.
We're praying for you, Tuna Fish
sir.
Tour. There's ever been a time you was on the field playing, and the opposing team running back is getting off, and you ain't getting off there. You have a little talk with your boy, like, hey, goddamn, come on now. Can't let them outdo me now.
To the defense. Right. Yeah, you're always looking. Like Jerome Bettis is one of my dearest friends, and we play Pittsburgh twice a year. You're always looking to see, okay, get 36 now. Don't let him get a hundo. You know what I'm saying? You're always looking at the competition, whether it's Fred Taylor or Edgerrin James. Like, you can't outdo me today, and you're always comparing and contrasting there. But you have nothing to do with it. But you always got one eye on like how they're doing in that particular day. You want the defense. Hey, don't let them get 100 today. You compare like a guy got 120, he got 119. Yeah, I got him.
It's competition, man.
It's
It's friendly
competition. It is
competition, though.
competition.
And I think that's what we need. But
Yeah.
now, man, we ain't just talking to a former NFL football player. Now we're talking to a head coach, man.
Yes.
What got you into this head coaching?
Man, we talked a little bit off
Yeah.
the show about it, man. Without going into a long, hard, drawn out, detailed story. I was acting, and I had my wealth management business prior to me coaching. I had a business relationship with the president of the university, Glenda Glover, at the time. She asked me to be the head coach for her team. I thought she was crazy. I was like, "Woman, what are you talking about?" I'm insulted because I've never coached before, never thought about coaching, and I'm not going to do it. But it kept just pricking at my heart, man. I remember one morning I woke up, I went swimming, and I just kept thinking about, damn, what would it, if I did start a program, how would I start it? And with that one thought, a plethora of ideas started coming to my mind. And I got excited. I was like, damn, don't get excited. Don't get excited. I don't want to do it because I know the hours you got to put in. It changes my life. I was loving being on the golf course, the back nine with a stogie, drink,
Relaxing.
music, relaxing, shooting it.
All that
Talking
changes now.
all nine, not 9 to 5. You're in here for 17 hours.
It's
Commitment.
A grind, man.
It's a real grind, right? But it kept pressing on me. Like if I said to myself, if I were to be on my deathbed and I had a regret to not do something, would this be one of them? And the answer was yes. And I said, damn it, I got to do it.
How do you go about assembling the coaches up on you? Like, I know,
You
'cause that's
know,
a process, bro.
But this was during COVID, so
Ooh.
I didn't have an access or a network of coaches. I reached out to the people that I trusted, Jeff Fisher. I told him, I asked him his honest opinion about it. Coach Prime, I said, Dion, given my lack of experience in coaching, he was just at Jackson State second year, going to his second year. I said, what are the challenges and what are your thoughts on someone coming in with no experience doing this? And he gave me a vote of confidence. He says, man, absolutely you can be a head coach. Because one, you're a leader. You're a leader of men. You don't have to call plays. You can have your handprint on it. You can put your thumbprint on it. You can do all this and that. This is what I do. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, like, all right, let me find it. And then I just relied on the people that I knew to help me put together a staff and kind of go from there. And my defensive staff has been together for the last 4 years since I've been here.
Speaking of that, uh, head coaching, you gonna call the plays, but have it been a time where some plays
Oh
because
yeah,
you
no, no,
wasn't
no, no,
believing,
no, no
you go
question.
to them and like, hey,
Oh yeah, yeah. We're gonna run the ball. Like we're gonna
okay.
run the ball here.
Of course
or,
we're gonna run the ball.
Oh yeah, that's got to happen. Like we're gonna stop the run and we're gonna run the ball. Or let's think about doing X, Y, and Z. Or I give my coordinators the freedom to be who they are, but understanding that here's the identity that I'm looking for. This is who I want to be, and this is where we need to go in doing that. Here's the list of runs that I want to see run consistently: duo, power, inside zone, repeat, duo, power, inside zone. Dress it up, different formations, different looks, different personnel groupings, but that's going to be our staple. And let's not veer away from doing a lot of cute stuff with that. So I believe in, less is more.
Well, last year y'all first winning season since 2017, right?
Yes,
You
sir.
come here, you turning things around.
Yep.
I want to coach too.
You do?
Yeah, I want to talk to the young man and train the
Okay.
young men's up, and because I'm a motivator. We ain't gonna have no half-assing around here. We're gonna go at it each and every
Yes,
day,
sir.
whether I'm here or not.
Yes, sir.
Whether you the head coach, any player or not. If the coach is not in the weight room, you need to work out the same as they was in the locker room.
That's right.
Because the goal is Everybody not gonna go to the NFL.
That's right.
And
That's right.
that's what I like about you. You ain't just training them, you training young men to become men.
Yes.
It's life outside of football. You
Yes.
have to be prepared for that. Injuries may happen. Life throws us all kind of challenges.
That's right.
And I heard you earlier talking about your wealth management program about when we do get the money, what you do with it. Like I
Yeah.
tell people, it's not about how much money you make, it's what you do with what you're making.
Right.
It's a lot of people now that we look at millionaires, but they got crazy spending habits.
Right.
And we have to be mindful. We have to be smart. Like, we have to think outside the box.
Right.
Like, I got $1 million today. I might not have it tomorrow.
And it's creating the right habits, championship habits. That's what I preach. My wealth management business is the Edward George Wealth Management Group through Ameriprise. Been in the business now for almost a decade. We've got a nice little nest egg in terms of assets under management. But to your point, it's creating the habit and the lifestyle, and how do you view the dollar? Again, I love that saying of, if you live by the gross, you'll die by the net. And understanding that Uncle Sam gets paid first.
Yeah.
It's unfair. It is unfair. I'm looking at it like,
Unless you
what?
Trump, you know what I'm saying?
Come on, man. Hey, that's a whole nother deal. We ain't even going there. We ain't even go there. But, for me, I've learned the hard way. I've gone out and I spent that dollar thinking, oh, I got $1 million. I can go out and da-da-da. And you're like, whoa, time out. What? To who? And okay. Lessons learned. You touch the stove, it's hot, you're gonna get burned. So I've learned that, and over time, and getting the right people around you, more importantly, man.
That's the key, getting the right team, building it, and
the right agent, the right financial advisor, the right CPA, but more importantly, having a Chinese barrier wall. There's no funds exchange, no information exchange without your consent or your knowledge. So you're on top of everything. No one is telling you where your money is going. No one is telling you blindly, like, hey, okay, you're writing your own checks. I know people don't write checkbooks nowadays. But just looking at it on a consistent basis of how much you've made, what your spending habits are, what you owe in terms of taxes, and also your agent fees and all of that.
And I want to leave this out. In the right woman.
Oh God, yeah.
Because that's some of the mistakes. Some of us, man, maybe not you, but us, get the right woman, man.
Yes.
Yes. Man, because I got plenty of friends, you too as well, NFL, NBA, broke behind the wrong woman, man. No, they fine, they look good, they smell good. Make sure it's right here. That's the most important, right here, man. And make sure they're there for you, man. You don't want to be out here looking bad, man. I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. I tell my sons all the time, if you go to a female's apartment or a place where she lives, if she does not have a library of books, leave.
I learned the hard way.
And if you have a library of books, what are they? What are the topics? What is she putting into her mind? You know what I'm saying? That's a quick way to find out who a person is. That goes for anybody. Like any person that I've dealt with in business, and I've gone to their office, I look at the books that they're reading and what they've read and why they read it. And I may not be interested in the book, or I mean, like, it's asking like, okay, what book would you recommend that I read, like that you've read? It's to see, where they are mentally, if they're vibing with it, because I've come across a lot of scrupulous individuals.
You know what book they're gonna tell you? OnlyFans.
Yeah, OnlyFans, or the 48 Laws of Power.
Yeah, that's
if you read one, that's based off of manipulation, but that's
true.
Neither here nor there. But I find out a lot more about people when I understand what they're putting into their mind, because what's in your mind is going to be in your heart. And what's in your heart is going to lead to your actions. Your actions are going to lead to your behaviors. Your behaviors are going to lead to your character. Mm-hmm. Your character is going to lead you to ultimately your destiny.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So that's That's why.
Let's talk about this big game coming up
Yeah.
this week, tomorrow, man.
Hey,
How
man.
you feeling?
I'm
I'm walking around the campus like it's lit. I got food trucks everywhere.
Yeah, man.
It's-
The energy is right. The week of preparation was good. Now the key for us is how we manage the distractions from this point on to the time we kick the ball off at 5 p.m. tomorrow night. And it's going to be important for us to tune out all that's going on campus, the parties and this and that, and hone our focus, laser focused on the task at hand, on the details of our work. Our intention for tomorrow night. Setting the tone for how the game is going to go from the time that we kick the ball off, and be ready to go to war for 60 minutes.
Do you get any rest? Like,
nah.
Like, do it bring you back to your football days?
It does.
You're a coach now. Do that like
it does bring me back. The only thing I can't do is impose my will physically. I got to do it in other ways, through emotional, through the mental, through the spiritual. That's how I impose my will.
Sometimes you like, I wish I could go out there and put my pads on and run this rock just to show them.
Just to show them one time. Yeah, I do, but then I start to running and I feel my knees. Then I was like, nah, it's
Have you ever showed your players your highlights?
I don't.
You know?
I don't. I think a lot of them have
I'll
looked
show
at
them every chance I can get. Y'all know who is standing in front of y'all. Y'all know who I am.
This know what, man?
You hit that hole, man. You got sometimes, coach. You got to let them know. You got to remind them you was a lion, man.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them look at it on YouTube anyway.
I know they do, but me personally, even my coaches, come here, right? That's me.
Right.
I need you hitting that hole like that. Yes. Offensive line, look the way my offensive line was. If the NFL is the goal, this is what you got to do. You got to be able to listen. I know y'all do that. You got to be dedicated, man. Sometimes criticism, it hurts. But if it's to make you better.
Well, we talk about that, and I think we talk about delivering in a positive way. It's called feedback. We give positive feedback on players. We talk about not calling players out, but calling them up to be better. We call out the behavior, but we call them up to be better.
You let me do that.
And
you let me call them out.
You call them out?
Yeah. Now, I won't do it in front of everybody. I call them to the side. Well, you missed 3 blocks.
Yeah.
And you think you still should be starting?
Trash.
Yeah. Super trash.
Yeah.
Ass be at McDonald's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Playing with me.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because sometimes I know, it's like you said, it's the way you talk to players. You can lose them the way you talk to them.
Right.
But also, it's also about correcting them and teach them, look, everybody don't get the opportunity, man. Take advantage.
Right.
Take advantage. Not only on the field, but in the classroom as well.
That's right.
And you're absolutely correct. It's about how you talk to these young men. I'm going to say young men these days because they easily, I don't like how he talked to me. I want to go somewhere else. But it's going to be even worse somewhere else.
That's right.
Because your character, man.
Right.
It follows you everywhere you go. Your character, man. It's your resume.
And the habits that you have associated with it.
For sure, man. Well, I'm excited to be here, Coach Eddie Joy. You know what I'm saying? Coach Eddie Joy, man.
Coming through, man.
Yes, sir, man. Any players out there, any parents, get ready to send your kids off to college, man. And you looking for a school that can take your young man to a man. Tennessee State University is it. This man right here, he's been there, he's done it, peaks and valleys. Right here, man. Look no further than right here.
TSU, baby. Go Big Blue.
Thank y'all for watching this show. It's not over. I'm going to take y'all on a journey throughout with me and Coach the rest of this week. Homecoming. If you're in the area, pull up, man. Thank you for inviting me and my team, Coach. Looking forward to doing this again with you, man.
It, man. God bless
yes,
you.
sir. Peace. We out. Trash.